Welcome back to the Rat Hole, everybody. As always, I'm Jeff, and I'm always cheesed to meet you. Today we have an action-packed episode for you guys, episode 4 of the Rat Hole. We are joined by a special guest, one of my favorite community members. Every single time he speaks, he makes me laugh. Router, what's going on? AKA Julius Cheese.
Hey there, good to be here. I'm so honored to be invited to this rat hole. I've been part of Cheese for a while now, and I think it's the best coin that you're ever going to buy on Solana. So thanks for having me.
Dude, absolutely.
Best coin on any chain, I'd say.
Agreed. With that said, like I said, we have a lot to discuss today. It was an action-packed week, fellas. I mean, we have Mouse Cafe, we got Cheese Independence, but I think I'd like to start with Mouse Cafe. It's just been incredible, and I think I speak for all the Ratards, everybody that holds cheese, when I want to say sincere thank you to Barney and especially Mr. One for all of the work that they've put in. Unfortunately, Barney couldn't be with us this week, but we do have Mr. One in attendance today. And this guy, if you saw how hard this guy grinds behind the scenes, like you would unironically empty your bank account and buy even more cheese. This guy, I swear to God, he hasn't slept. He hasn't slept in like a month, it feels like. And he's been grinding really hard on Mouse Cafe for all of the artwork and animations. And big hats off to you, bro.
Thank you very much. But I think the real heroes, it's the community. I mean, if it weren't for you guys there to support me and support each other, Mouse Cafe wouldn't be the amazing project and thing that it is. So thank you everyone for playing and experiencing something we put a lot of love and happiness into. Thank you.
Yeah, and if you haven't checked it out yet, go in and see it, and you might meet me down in the sewer, and I could show you my dick.
Dude, the sewer is my favorite place, unironically. I love hanging out in the sewer.
I have to say I got stuck in the sewer during a sort of beta test, and it gave me some uncomfortable feelings about some of the other things that might be lurking in tunnels beneath New York City. I was afraid that I was going to get approached by something, unsightly.
No, don't worry, dude. I checked it out. There is no stained mattress.
Good.
So, I mean, this is such a great place to start with it, Mr. One. Where do you think we can take it to? Like, how do we make it even bigger and better?
Jeff, that's a really good question. I think the beauty of it is that Mouse Cafe is a representation of cheese and the entire community, right? We put a lot of love into the rooms and aspects of the game that we made. And the best part is that it's all about feedback. We can, if we can imagine it, we can make it. So going forward with Mouse Cafe, if people want to see a certain room created or asset created, environment made, we can make that. And, for a room that people really want, we can pour in an insane amount of love and precision to making it really special. So that's what I see going forward.
That is really cool, and you guys are really quick to deliver things. I do just need to kind of remind everyone that a lot of this artwork is handmade artwork for, the different environments and different rooms in Mouse Cafe. And to me, that is really impressive and really awesome, and just puts such a personal touch on it, and such a unique touch, when we're surrounded by AI generated slop that's quickly, slapped together. Man, something about Mouse Cafe just is extremely cozy. Yeah, and everyone I've shown it to has really appreciated it. So
Yeah, yeah. I mean, absolutely. You can really feel the soul, and like you said, in a sea of AI generated slop, I think that's the correct term. Um, Making it hand drawn and giving it some actual soul was really really key to making it our project
This-
and owning it.
The slop does not slap.
No, it doesn't, and it's low effort, and people can see it. People aren't stupid. Maybe some boomers get fooled by a bit of AI, generative AI stuff, but most
yeah, I
people
think
yeah.
we've all got an eye for it. And man, yeah, just so many cool little like Easter eggs to find in there, especially if you are a part of the cheese community. Cool little like inspirational messages as you kind of look through things. So yeah, I've actually still been exploring it. I haven't really even had a chance just because I'm traveling. I haven't had a chance to really like sit down and really dig through stuff, but man, it's awesome. Every time you guys added something new to it, I was really excited to check it out. And really, I was surprised at how much new stuff there is for the release. So yeah,
Yeah.
awesome job, man.
Yeah, quick shout out to our Mouse Cafe beta testers. You guys are really really instrumental in testing and making sure everything looked the way it was meant to look. So thank you very much for your feedback and for your patience. Really appreciate it.
I just can't wait to see how people decide to LARP in there. I know the Ratards are a creative bunch, and they'll cook up some crazy shit. I know that's for sure.
Oh, totally. I mean, even just logging in now and you walk around the various scenes in the game and just seeing people in the cafe. I mean, one person in particular that he logs in every day to have his in real life coffee while his character's in the cafe in game, and I don't know. I just find that really really endearing and very very cute. So yeah, it's really cool.
It's a good idea. I think I'll join him tomorrow morning. I'll have my coffee in Mouse Cafe.
That's what I've been doing too.
It's really not a bad idea. We can have some of those like anonymous meetings in there.
Oh my god, that's such a good idea.
The possibilities are endless.
It's a great place to go and have your coffee. I mean, it's a lot better than going to Dunkin' Donuts and, they screw up your order or something. At Mouse Cafe, your order's not getting screwed up. You're gonna get what you paid for.
That's right. That's right.
You're admit.
What's your favorite thing in Mouse Cafe so far, Router?
I love it's just so cute. The music is awesome. You can literally just go in there and chat with random people, and it's like completely uncensored. I mean, where else on the internet are you even allowed to do that? It's really like the perfect game, and I mean, it's so much fun. There's always somebody in there, and you can just talk to them. It's like really like the metaverse in a way.
It kind of is, yeah. It's like the first step of the metaverse that's just going to keep expanding.
Yeah, it's a really really special thing we've made. So yeah, once again, thank you everyone for helping out, and sky's the limit really.
Yeah, it's been an exciting start to, well, really an exciting end to June, an exciting start to July. Do we want to touch on some of like the Cheese Independence Day stuff in this?
Sure.
Or
We can jump right into it. I mean, like I said, it was an action packed week, and it kind of got kicked off with Cheese Independence Day, which is officially June 28th for those who are marking their calendars for their cheese calendars for next year. It's just kind of came. I mean, we all kind of knew that a day like this was coming, and then we grinded for 6 months, and here we are. June 28th happened, and free at last. Thank God Almighty, we are free at last.
For anyone who might not be like a hardcore community member that's listening, essentially what Cheese Independence Day represents is we had this one large holder of cheese that's been holding a big bag for a long time. And
Member of
man,
the long-nosed tribe.
yes, a certain tribal member who, we don't even need to name him too much. We don't really pay him much mind. He wasn't able to kill our vibes at all, and I think that kind of upset him a little bit. But yeah, it was always sort of this quandary, like, do we really want to put all of our work and efforts towards letting this long-nosed tribe member profit off of us parasitically, like many such historical cases? And I think a lot of us decided no, we didn't want to, but I think just by we all reached out to him, we tried to have a collaborative and cohesive effort for the benefit of cheese, and this person just was not interested in doing it. But as of Cheese Independence Day, he's sold off most of his cheese to where he's not really a significant holder anymore. We don't view him as an obstacle against our quote cohesive goals and strategies. So it's really exciting, and I'm pretty excited for what July has to come. We are going to start moving pretty hard with our 1G in July initiative, where all cheese bros,
yeah,
all cheese bros try to go get someone to, as many people as they can to toss a G into cheese. And I think with those kinds of efforts, we'll see some pretty exciting things happening on the chart this month. And Barney and I have already committed to some things, which we'll probably announce at later dates. So yeah, it's all exciting. It seems like Cheese is back in a really great spot with all these releases, with all this good news. So I'm cheesed, and I'm cheesing.
I mean, we've always had a very strong contingent of people who believed in what we were doing, and it's just nice to see over time the shift in power just becoming more and more and more in the hands of true believers. That's like bottom line, literally the only thing that matters. It's the only thing I've cared about for months, and we keep working hard together, and we keep getting rewarded in small ways, and eventually we'll get rewarded in bigger ways.
And that's why it does seem appropriate, this sort of episode. It's kind of like an all hardcore cheese community member podcast with so many good releases, Cheese Independence Day. So yeah, it's a cozy episode today.
Well, in a way, it's kind of a celebration of you, of me, of everyone, of every rat out there. So I think everyone deserves to have a little pat on the back and thank themselves, thank
Absolutely.
each other.
Yeah, I would definitely go and say that the worst is over, and throughout this whole time, it really just adds to the testament of our story that perseverance through strength is what will ultimately lead us to victory.
They fooled me, we can't get fooled again.
And
Absolutely.
do you think it's an appropriate time to maybe say we do have a new king, a new rat king? Would you like to say any words, Your Majesty?
There's only one king, and that king is Jesus.
Jesus
Christ.
Based. Now that's a king I want to follow.
On God.
Yeah,
That's
those
right.
guys never cheat, never goon. Might be tempted though, but never cheat, never goon.
Yeah, it's all about having that winner's mindset. I think positivity goes a long way, and you want to surround yourself with people who share that sentiment. And it's important to accept that things will be hard at times. But ultimately things will get better. And with the winner's mindset, I think victory is absolutely inevitable. And I think with what's happened and what will continue to happen, we've proven that thesis correct time and time again. So well done, everyone. Well done. Cheers to be here.
Always cheese
Yes,
to be
yes.
here.
Yes, 100%.
I'm excited as we can sort of align like a lot of this motivation and positivity that we share in this community. Really excited to see where it might go as we do get more and more positive price action, since that, you know, always kind of brings people back and kind of brings a new refreshing sort of vibe where everyone gets motivated again and gets excited. So yeah, hopefully we can. I'm going to be hitting the ground running pretty hard once I get back home with some things, and yeah, we'll see where it goes.
How are we celebrating the 4th, Saul? Where are we at?
Man, I don't have any plans, unfortunately. So I'm in Florida until the 3rd. I didn't really plan this trip very well. I probably should have planned it through the 4th to spend the 4th with my family, but you know, I'll be back out west. No real plans. You know, I have some tentative plans, which might involve succumbing to lust, but I'm trying to be a full-time cheese cell now, so probably won't exhaust those plans. If anything, maybe I'll make some really sexy hamburgers and share pictures of them in the cheese chat. How about you guys?
Just to clarify for perhaps non-Americans, 4th of July, what's that?
The 4th of July is a celebration of the independence of America from a third world nation called the United Kingdom. Pretty much since then, America.
Wait, that's the Islamic nation, right?
Yes, the Islamic third world nation of the United Kingdom. It's a real, you know, it's a story of triumph. Unfortunately, in time, America eventually, you know, fell victim to homosexuality and, you know, a tribe that must not be named for this stream will probably get canceled if we dare mention them.
Oy vey, you're getting a little too close to the sun.
Exactly. I'm gonna lower my altitude a little bit. But yeah, so in all seriousness, the 4th of July is American Independence Day for any non-American listeners that weigh themselves in kilograms or some other homosexual unit of measurement. It's a time where people light off fireworks and eat hamburgers. Burgers eat burgers, also hot dogs, and all other sorts of summertime foods. Watermelon for people of certain backgrounds. But yeah, you know, it's generally a good time. People really like the 4th of July. People get off work. It's just a good American time. Any of you boyos have any plans for the 4th?
Not really. I think I have to work actually, but I mean, I honestly, I it's a holiday I didn't realize people like loved as much as they do until I got a little bit older, and it seems like everybody I know has something planned for it, and I'm just kind of like,
Router, what are you doing?
Well, it's hard to say. I mean, I've been going through so much lately. I don't know if I can just go out there and light off fireworks. I mean, I look at the state of this country and I'm wondering what the heck is going on. So I don't know if I can do much. I mean, I might buy some fireworks and light them off, you know, just for fun. But you know, sometimes I look around and I wonder what has happened to this country. You know,
Where my country going? Can you elaborate?
Yeah, I mean, like for example, you know, you go. I heard that there's like this trend where these teenagers literally like they get on TikTok and they like all come together as a group, like all these people that don't even know each other, and they'll like ransack a CVS or something like that. They'll like all go in there and they're gonna steal stuff, and there's like hundreds of them. And I was just thinking, like, if I ever breed with a woman, I'm gonna have to put my child in school with those kids. I was just thinking, like, geez, it's crazy. How do you even stop this at that point? So that's
I
what I'm
agree.
gonna be doing. I just gotta contemplate on this stuff. I gotta lock in and contemplate. That's what I'm gonna do.
Come up with your own form of independence. That's not a bad idea.
So are you like in a city or where like not specifically tell us where you live, but like where generally speaking?
Yeah, I'm in a major city in the southeastern United States. So yeah, you got a lot of crazy stuff going on down here, as you can probably
Yeah.
imagine.
God, I think
You know.
Jacksonville, Florida, I'm like, holy heck. What a bunch of N-words.
I've been pretty unplugged from the news, and I am in Florida myself right now. And, I went to the gym with my dad, and Fox News was on. And man, it was pretty amazing hearing it. There were these, just every side is just completely insane. Apparently, there's some new mayor candidate in New York City that's like a Muslim communist. And the Fox News people were like, he is so against Zionism. He's anti-Semitic. He is openly calling for the death of Israel. And it was pretty entertaining. I was just sitting there, there were the old boomers on the stationary bikes watching it. So there was that. I guess Trump's also in Florida right now talking about his alligator Alcatraz, which is some prison in the middle of the Everglades for, illegal immigrants. It's definitely silly times in the country. And I don't know.
That would honestly be a place to put it. I mean, what a miserable place to be.
Oh yeah, Ron DeSantis was laughing hysterically at the idea of describing, and he's like, what are you going to do? Dodge alligators for 60 miles on your way back to civilization?
Swat at mosquitoes.
Yeah, it's a hellish landscape. But yeah, I would love to hear some more of Router's thoughts on modernity, things happening in this country and the world in general. I think this guy has some really good insights on things. So whether you want to kind of go off the cuff of things that have concerned you or...
Yeah, I guess I'll go off the cuff a little bit here. I was doing some research, and I was thinking about the validity of this country as it is. The founding fathers built this country with a lot of pretty good ideas at the time, I think. Like, freedom of speech, freedom of expression, and all that stuff, and democracy and elected officials and court systems. And I was thinking, if I was alive back then, I probably would have been completely on board with it, given the way the world was going at the time. I mean, I probably would have said, yeah, these guys know what they're talking about. And, fast forward about 270 years, and here we are. We have, their system is working. I mean, it's not like you can, they designed a system that's rock solid. You really can't change it too much. You're not going to overthrow the courts. You're not going to overthrow Congress or the presidency. And, it just seems like, and that's how it is. You're going to have these laws. And I was thinking, well, when I'm scrolling through Twitter, some of the stuff I see is just so weird and degenerate. And I don't know even how to understand what they're doing anymore. Like, for example, I saw some girl post something, and it was like she's making an art project. She's making like a bowl to a sink. Like, how when you have a sink and you have like a bowl underneath the sink, like where the water goes into and then it goes down the drain. Well, sure. She's like, okay, here's a life hack of how you can make your own like sink bowl. So what she does is she plops her ass right down on some clay and makes a bowl shape with the clay. and then like carves around it. And I was thinking, why do you even need to plop your ass down on that? So it's examples like that. You could have just used a basketball and you know, put that in there and like, you know, made your little mold that way, but she had to plop her ass down. It's a thirst trap. Let's be real about that. So when I saw that, I was thinking, and that's just one example. You've all seen other examples of like, and that's a pretty light example, but this degeneracy stuff is going into like all areas of human life now, and there's really not anything we can do with it. And I was thinking, well, geez, the degeneracy seems to be, I mean, obviously it's caused by a certain group, obviously, but you know what the group uses as their proxy is typically going to be women on social media. And women are going to post, you know, whatever they feel like doing, and it almost always involves something as a thirst trap to some degree or another. And I was thinking, well, the only way you're going to stop this degeneracy is you have to not allow women to post stuff on social media, basically, their bodies, because it's going to just lead to a thirst trap, no matter which way you put it. That's why people are clicking on the video every single time. And the thing is, you can't do much about that.
I got a question for you. In your little endeavors, I mean, surely you have gone out there and tried to, you know, find yourself a piece of these thirst traps. Have you ever made them aware of their behavior in any context, and how did it go? I want to hear some of your stories.
Oh, have I ever like called them out on it?
Yeah, while you're trying to pick them up or something.
Yeah, I kind of have done that. Well, actually, there was a girl I was dating at one point, and she was a liberal and a Jew, actually. I mean, she was of a tribe, and you know, she was like expecting me to pay for stuff. She wanted me to pay for stuff, and I kept like, she kept being like, oh, my mom's boyfriend pays to get her nails done, and I'm like, oh, that's nice of him. And then I end the conversation right there, because I was like, I know she's insinuating that I have to do it, and I just kept like putting her off like that. But one day she like says she's like really hinting for me to do it, and I said, you know what, I would never do that, because women use men as a pay pig a lot of the times. I literally said that to her, and I literally said, I don't want to be your fucking pay pig. And then what she told me was, that incel talk is gonna get you nowhere. And then I was fucking pissed. I was like, how about you shut the fuck up, you fucking whore? And then we stopped talking for like a day, and then we reconciled the next day, and then I broke up with her the next day, basically. I was like, you know, maybe it was harsh, but I'm done with it.
Base.
That is something I've dealt with recently also. These young whores wanting you to just give them money. You know, they quite literally are whores themselves. But kind of related to your endeavors, I kind of had a funny recent anecdote. I was telling one of these, you know, young whores that I like to urinate while sitting down. They said, tell me a secret in their gay way. And I said, well, I like to pee sitting down. And I went on to describe why, because I think it's a cleaner way of peeing. I don't think it's anything that has to do with my masculinity. And then later on in the conversation, I was describing how I think, you know, social media is a hotbed of mental illness, especially Twitter nowadays, and, you know, TikTok goes without saying. And she couldn't really comprehend what I meant by that until, you know, like a day later, she came to me and was talking about, I think I'm starting to realize what you meant by social media is like a hotbed of mental illness. After what you told me, I went and researched it on TikTok, what it means if a man sits down when he pees. And she was showing me this detailed elucidation of how that means I'm a massive narcissist, and I'm only concerned about myself because I sit down when I pee. And yeah, I guess she didn't necessarily agree with that, but I just found it pretty funny that that is what like made it dawn on her that social media is full of mentally ill roasties and retards.
Say, shut up, bitch, and take this clean dick in your mouth.
Haven't you
So hang
noticed
on,
how
so-
clean my toilets are?
The conclusion was that because you prefer to pee sitting down, that therefore makes you self-centered. Is that correct?
Well, apparently there was, which I didn't get to see it, but apparently there's some viral TikTok video that suggests if a man sits while peeing, it indicates that he is a narcissist, with some sort of explanation behind it. But, you know, roasty's gonna roast.
A quick anecdote. In some Asian countries, you've probably seen like famous Japanese bidet toilets, right? The really high-tech fancy ones.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, they're great. They're common in a lot of Asian countries. A lot of them will actually say, please pee while sitting down, referring to men, right?
Mhm.
And me being a foolish foreigner, I ignored that warning. Like, you know, I'm a smart man. I'm not going to sit down to pee. Ridiculous. But the way the toilets are designed is that if you pee in the toilet setting up, it'll make an actual mess outside of the toilet.
Right.
It's an actual
I got kind of a story about pissing in a public restroom. So I was in Asheville with my dad and his wife and my girlfriend at the time, now my wife. And this was when they were doing like the whole country started turning gay, like openly gay and trans, like super gay and trans. And so there was this bathroom we went into and it said gender neutral and it had, you know, male and female on it. And I was, you know, angry at the time about, you know, how the country was changing so rapidly. So I went in there and I was like, you know, I hate this bathroom. Fucking gender neutral bullshit. And I just pissed all over this scene, all over the floor. Shit. I felt a little bad later, but you know, I was like, fuck him.
That's fucking badass though, because you marked your territory. I mean, that's what men do. We're gonna piss all over the place if we have to. I don't care what people say. I mean, if it's gender neutral, you know who's gonna sit on there next.
Exactly.
That's true. All women should be able to stand and pee because they're equal. Very good point.
Yeah, man, I want to hear some more router stories about bitches.
Oh yeah, I got plenty of them. I don't know.
What was
Jeff,
your most?
if you want to go on to the next segment or what do you think?
I want to hear about a one night stand.
A one night stand from Router?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's get plugged in with
I
Router.
think you might be mistaken, my friend.
I was gonna say, I'm not sure that one such exists. Well, can you tell us about the last lady friend you were with, Router?
All right. Well, I'll be honest with you guys. We talked about the cheese sex havers tier list, and I rank as what you would call a Brad light. So basically, that means I'm able to get sex from a woman, but they're usually pigs. So that's the one down, but I can still get it. I mean, see, that's the one thing. I may be a bald manlet, but I am still 20 out of 26 on the Aryan scale. So that honestly, you know, that brings me up a couple notches, to be honest. I have a symmetrical face, blue eyes, Aryan race, so I'm able to kind of get stuff, you know, like that. So the last one I actually went to see was yesterday, and she was African American, literally African American woman. I didn't tell her anything about my affiliations with cheese, of course. But,
Dark chocolate, milk chocolate.
yeah, and we actually got ice cream, and that's the ice cream I got. I didn't make a point about it, but I was like, I'm gonna get vanilla and chocolate and see if she says anything. She didn't even think of it. She didn't even get what I was saying. But I'm 29 years old and she was 19, and I was like, don't mind if I do. Fresh
flavor
fruit,
ice cream?
you know what I mean?
What flavor ice cream did she get?
She got like, I forgot. She got like a cookie or cookie dough.
Hmm.
No, I was when I said dark chocolate or milk chocolate, I was asking her complexion.
Oh, milk chocolate. Milk chocolate, but she's definitely got some tribal genetics in her face, which was kind of a downside. She's not like a. She's nice, but she was actually really nice. Her personality was great. I don't know if I can. I don't know. What we're gonna
Was she
do.
loud?
No, not at all. She was very like actually like very like soft spoken.
Was she well spoken?
Yeah, she was well spoken, very well spoken.
No slang.
I honestly thought that chocolate ice cream and vanilla ice cream thing is really smooth.
Oh yeah, that was pretty smooth. I mean, yeah, but she was well spoken, and she only used like a minimal amount of slang. She knew she was okay with all my whiteisms. Like I was like, I'm a very white guy. I don't do the slang. I don't act like a thug or anything. I am what you would call a white male. So
Was this a one date, or have you had several dates? Did you? I guess my question is, did you get to know her?
I got to know her kind of before that. Like I went in hot. I went in hot with this one. I was already like putting the moves on before I even met up with her. So, that's kind of my strategy sometimes, try to push the limit as much as you can. That's what Casey Xander would say, the pickup artist who actually Adam, one of the Cheese Bros, he kind of, mentioned him, and I was like, "Hey, I've watched some of his videos too. He's a pickup artist." So, we got something in common there, me and Adam. So, shout out to Adam for bringing that up.
What's your best pickup line, for a queen?
My bet it would be cheese to meet you all the way. I mean, there's nothing better than that.
Through and through.
I've been using cheese to meet you pretty regularly, and it actually, I think it has an endearing quality to it that people actually really like, especially if you always have a few John Cheese stickers on you, so you can hit them with the cheese to meet you, and then, be like, here's a cheese sticker.
Cheese to meet you.
I think they really like that sort of autism.
It's quite disarming, isn't it? You tell people, "Hey, cheese to meet you," and usually they're kind
It
of like,
is.
"Huh? What do you mean?" And you repeat the line for clarification. They're kind of like, "Oh yeah, cheese to meet you, man."
It is a good move. It is a good move.
And 9 times out of 10, people like cheese, so it's like a good conversation starter, icebreaker.
I just can't get over that chocolate vanilla mixture. I wish I could think of something like that. That's actually really smooth.
Yeah, that was pretty smooth. I mean, dude, cheese has been turning into a sex haver's coin lately. I mean, what can I say? We kind of start out as an incel coin, and we're kind of working our way up a little bit. I could see as cheese gets larger, like as more people join cheese, like that'd be interesting if there ended up being like political parties within cheese. Like you have like the incel party on one side, and then the sex havers side on the other. And then maybe they have like a vote or something that like does like a King of the Hill thing that puts like their cheese character on top of a hill every month or something. Whoever gets the most votes.
Guys, I have this crazy problem. I just don't understand it. It's like cheese gets larger and my dick gets bigger.
That's how it's been for me.
Yeah, my dick's been getting way bigger with this coin.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, that's one of my goals. My goals is to truly research how we can create a digitally native nation state. So yeah, we will have to have, political parties within that, whether they're based on celibacy or non-celibacy, will be determined. But yeah, I think there are a disproportionately high number of sex havers in the cheese community as opposed to Apu, for example.
Yeah,
Bullish.
Apu is. I don't want to talk shit about Apu or anything, but sometimes I go in that Telegram and I'm depressed just listening to what they say. I mean, it's really, they got some stuff going on, severe.
That's why they cope with each other and call each other friend and say it's gonna be okay all the time, stuff like that.
Listen, we're here with open arms for whoever wants to come and cheese with us. You know, the
That's
door
true.
is wide open.
You hear me? We're like the meme coin that is Rome. And we're starting off, you know, we're being real cheesy. We're reaching our hands out to neighboring factions. Apu is one of those factions. And over time, we're just getting bigger and bigger, you know. But this problem just keeps increasing. And my dick gets bigger too. But that's not always a bad thing.
You heard it here first, folks. Buy cheese, bigger dick. Clinically.
And then I mean, you'll even start attracting queens.
Yeah, definitely size queens. You're gonna be getting chased down by them. Trust me. You buy some cheese, you get some cheese in your pocket. They're gonna be rolling up on you. I mean, it's a fact of life. Women like larger penises. They do not like small dicks. That's been very clear in the things I've seen on the internet. And you know, one of the things that you got to do is, I have plenty of options for you, tricks I can give you to enhance yourself. So,
Such as?
if anybody ever has questions,
Yeah, let's hear about these.
Yeah, let's hear about
I
it.
can provide testimonials to some of Router's techniques. They've been tremendously helpful at alleviating my premature ejaculation.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think I think you might be referring to the erect towel raise. You know, one of the great things you could do is work out your pelvic floor muscles by simply achieving a 100% erection and standing up, of course, and putting a towel over your dick so it's hanging right off your dick and kind of acting as resistance to it. And then what you're going to do is reverse Kegel. You're going to reverse Kegel, not do a actual Kegel, but do a reverse. That's like you push out like you're shitting. So what will happen is while your erect dick has a towel on it, it will raise the towel up as you do a reverse Kegel. That's how you know you're doing it right. And you don't want to like force it down. You got to make sure you're just using your pelvic floor muscles. You do that Kegel, your dick's going to go up. It'll get nice and veiny and it'll raise the towel. You can do that about, I'd say do maybe I'd say like try to do 3 sets of as long as you can holding it. You know, maybe you could do like five sets, maybe, you know, work your way up. So that'll make and what it'll do is you'll last longer. Your dick will have harder erections, and actually if you're pissing a lot at night, it'll actually help with that too. So I learned this on a forum site called
I tried that one time when I was having sex with this girl, and you know, she was super hot, so I was like trying to last a long time and have stamina, so I was like pushing out like this reverse Kegel. I actually didn't know about the technique, but I was like trying to like really not come, and I just fucking farted. I was like,
but that's the way. That's what you did the right thing though, because you do, and then your reverse Kegels will be stronger, so you can draw back from the point of no return. So
all I can say is that it's been an amazing change for me. So thank you for that, Router. That was great advice.
yeah, no problem. See, that's the power of the cheese community, is we actually help each other out. This is it's like a real community. I'm telling you guys, there's no other coin at such a cheap price that is like this. So people need to wake up. I mean, look, we're kind of in an off season here, so this is a point where you should be, picking up coins, not
Loading
not
up.
being scared.
Yes.
a
I did want to ask you something, Router. You shared some stories maybe a week ago, within the past week. I believe of a young lady named Catherine and a dark hued gentleman named Jamal, I believe were the names. And I need to ask, was that a fictional story or was that a true story?
And what was the story?
Yeah,
Oh,
could you
man.
please remind our listeners?
I wish I saved it somewhere. It was a I can't tell if it was true or fake. I mean, you're gonna have to guess that yourself.
It was definitely an enticing story.
Inspired by true events, perhaps?
How do you spell the Catherine? I'll just search for it quickly in the chat.
It's like K-A-T Catherine. Maybe that's a good point. If I can. Oh yes. All right. Maybe if I could just. Okay, I can read the story if you guys want to hear it.
Yes.
Please.
Yes.
Yes, story time with Router. Yes, please.
Okay, so basically it starts with I posted a picture of Catherine after she met an African American guy, really tall, and this was their wedding picture. So I begin. The girl on the left was my first girlfriend after college. She was the most beautiful woman in the world, and I loved her so much. Her name was Catherine. We met on Plenty of Fish back in 2019. She was 19 and I was 23. We dated for a few years. At first, things seemed normal. We had great conversations and a close connection, but she seemed dissatisfied about something. She never told me what it was. Then, one day, Kat asked me to take her dancing downtown, something we have never done. I agreed to her request. We arrive at the club. People are dancing, the music is loud, it's crowded. Kat and I find a table to post up at. Waitress arrives and we order our drinks. A tall African American comes up to our table. "Hey, Dan, shorty, you looking fine as hell." She laughs. They talk more. I'm looking to see if the waitress is on her way back with the drinks. I turn to look at Kat and I see that she is kissing this man right in front of me. "Kat, what are you doing?" "OMG, I'm sorry, Router. It was nothing." "Nothing? That doesn't look like nothing." I am hurt, but I don't have the testosterone to get angry. "Excuse me, sir, but we were sitting here. Can you please leave us alone?" "Hey, my bad, bro. Your girl got that thick ass, though." He grabs Kat's ass behind when he said that, and deliberately put his finger up her skirt. "Okay, sir, that's enough. I'm gonna have to ask you to leave." "Router, can you please relax? Fuck, you are embarrassing me," Kat says. "You were making out with another guy, Catherine. Of course I have a right to be upset." "But Router was nothing." "Fuck, you are so controlling." "Well, I'm sorry you feel that way, Catherine, but this makes me feel so humiliated. I am leaving." "Wait, Router, don't go. You're overreacting, and you never have any fun in your life." "What do you mean?" "I mean you never want to try anything new." "I don't like trying new things. How could you say that?" "Well, Router, I have an idea. It's a crazy idea, but just hear me out," Kat says as 6'6" Jamal has his fingers inside her as she talks to me. "How about you, me, and Jamal head back to our place and have a few drinks?" "Hey, shit, that sounds like a plan to me," says Jamal. "So are you in, Router?" Yeah, I guess," I say. I've just pulled up to the parking lot of my apartment. Jamal and Kat arrived first. She insisted that she needed to ride in his car. I walk up the stairs of my apartment. The door is locked. I don't want to open it, but it's my home. Where else can I go? I unlock the door, walk inside. I head down the hall to the bedroom. The door is open. Jamal is sitting on my bed with his penis out. Kat is naked on her knees sucking his penis. She can barely get it in her mouth. Tears are running down her face. "Hey, yo, what's good, little man?" Jamal says to me. "Hey, dog, take a seat right there, nigga. I'ma fuck this bitch good." I take my seat. I'm paralyzed, unable to say anything. Your dick is so big." Jamal guides Kat to be on her knees. He tries to fit his penis inside a Kat, but it could barely fit. I thought it was about to split her open, but her vagina is so wet that it's providing sufficient lubrication. Oh fuck! Yeah! Cat is getting destroyed, abused by this man. He is spitting on her, putting his thumb in her anus and smacking her. Finally, I had to stand up for my girlfriend. Hey, Jamal, that's not cool, bro. Treat her with respect. Hey, man, shut the fuck up, nigga. Your girl like getting down by a real man. Ain't that right, bitch? Yes, daddy. Fuck. Rowdy's jealous that his little cock can't satisfy me. Right there, fuck. Now, wait a minute, Cat. That's not fair, I said, standing my ground. Fuck. Fuck. As I was stating my point, Cat began squirting vigorously from her vagina. It got all over me and Jamal. Are you gonna come for me, Daddy? I went all over my face. Yeah. Cat is sucking Jamal's penis vigorously, spit falling all over her body. I am back in my chair, witnessing these events unfold. Jamal finally ejaculates all over Cat's face. Some of it even got on me, since I was in the chair right behind Cat. Man, I didn't want that on me. Hey, dog, finna get out of the way next time, nigga. Hey, anyway, I gotta bounce. Jamal receded into the dead of night. It was just Cat and I. So, do you need help getting that semen off your face? I asked politely, hoping this ordeal was finally over. No thanks, I want his cum all over me, and I'm not gonna shower unless I absolutely have to. Oh, okay, I said. Well, did you really mean that I wasn't able to satisfy you? Router, do we always have to talk about this now? You just have no idea how bad I needed a real man to come and fuck me. I still love you, but there are some things that guys like Jamal can just do better. Okay, so you do still love me. Yes, Router, I love you. Okay, I love you too, Cat. Do you want to watch The Office or something? Hell yeah! We broke up about 3 months later after repeating this scenario multiple times. She said that she wanted to get married to Jamal, so then I had to move back in with my mom and dad for a while. The end.
Wow. That was that was really great and really entertaining, Router. I actually started sweating profusely while listening to that.
Nigga, I do not have the words.
I'm speechless. I hope that's not a true story.
I just hope she's happy.
Oh, she's happy now. She's happy.
Oh man. We need to clip that and put it on TikTok for the youngins.
And so this guy, was he milk chocolate or dark chocolate, or what are we talking?
Did you see the picture?
I did see the picture. That was him?
That was him, yeah.
Oh,
He
man.
was Wesley Snipes, darkness, 7 feet tall and lanky.
He's not paying his taxes, Black.
Maybe Cheese Jamie can put him back on the screen quickly for our viewers, just to have a quick bit of adoration.
He's not paying for anything, Black. He's never
hey,
heard
yo,
of
let me get them
taxes.
Jordans, Black.
Hey, yo, let me get your girl Router, Black.
Unmatched.
So, Router, when are you expecting to receive your Oscar nomination? Have you got it yet in the mail, or your Oscar nomination?
Yes. I will take that in the mail. I hope the Academy likes my work.
I mean,
They say the best
received it yet?
stories are the ones that aren't really stories at all.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I'm sure the Academy would be a huge fan of your focus on interracial relationships.
Oh yeah, I could work at Netflix. I could work in advertising. I mean, I could work anywhere, with this sort of my focus, my academic focus here.
Your experience, if you will.
Yes,
I would be interested because you
something I
do
live
seem
through every day.
you do, and that's one thing, you do seem to have a really profound and thoughtful perspective on this miscegenation that's happening nowadays. I'd be interested in whether or not you have any thoughts on the reason for this, you know, push for miscegenation exists, and you know, why do white women go along with this, or why do they seem to crave this in certain settings, especially when they're younger?
Opinion, I mean, I think it's just a I mean, I'll give you my real opinion here. It's just because of the tribe has figured out the perfect way to conquer the white man, and that's simply by, you know, presenting
Black penis.
Yeah, presenting a black penis for, you know, white women. And the thing is, you know, it wasn't always like this, but and that's kind of what leads to all this degeneracy happening. You know, it's just they are naturally athletic compared to white guys. See, the thing about white people is that we are like we're like a well-rounded stats tree, like, you know, attributes tree, if you will. Asians are super smart, but they're kind of weak. You know, black people are not as smart and they're really strong, but white people kind of have everything. You know, but we're not like, you know, we're not like the, you know, we have a balanced, you know, tree basically. So it's just kind of what happens. You put these athletic but kind of, you know, not so smart people in the presence of white women. What do you think's going to happen? They're going to be sucking and fucking left and right. That's what you're going to get, and it's sad to see. So
It's almost like when you put Latino women with white men, but the opposite.
Yeah, Latinas love white men. I mean, the thing is, like, you know, the black man sexually will conquer technically all races. I mean, I hate to say it, but they kind of will, unless, you know, unless we can, you know, kind of prevent that somehow. But like, they just are stronger. They're typically, you know, they have that animalistic strength. You put them in any country, they're going to be breeding. All right, no matter, I don't care what happens. But whites, you know, we can get Latinas, we can get Asians, we can get white women. You know, it's a fact of life. So,
Speaking of large penises, did you guys see that story today in New York about how somebody had erected a 10-foot tall pink foot fountain, and it sprays water from its tip? You guys see
I
that?
say this all the time, but like as time goes on, the more I realize that the movie Idiocracy was a documentary and not just a fictional movie.
Yeah, I did see that
yeah.
piece of supposed artwork. It's very penis shaped, and it sprays out of its tip.
It spits, yeah. It spits out its tip.
Does it just do it every once in a while, or is it like you have to rub it or take pictures with it? Like, why does it spray?
I think it's cycle powered. There's
So did
literally
the artist who made it explain why they made it?
I'm just looking at this thread here. I just see this picture of this giant fucking pink foot cock spraying water, and I'm just like, what the fuck?
It is a little distasteful.
I would imagine somebody is calling in New York. Somebody is calling this modern art, and probably the artist has a large nose. But I'm just taking a shot in the dark. Let me see if I can search something.
Perhaps Router has some opinions on this quote-unquote penis statue. Right?
Yes.
Well, I
yeah,
had one
taking a
question
look
for
at it
Router.
here. Saul just posted it in there. Oh, my friend. He said the Jamal story was hilarious. Oh, that's funny. I have shout out to the people in real life watching this. I appreciate you joining in. But yes, to make the sculpture, so yeah, it's like a foot, but it's also a dick. Yes, I think I can understand what's happening here. It's a fetish item, and you know, some people have a the dick represents sexual intercourse, and the foot represents a particular fetish you can have. So do the math.
But by the way, I do just want to interject quickly. I just quickly searched the story. It says the 10-foot tall sculpture titled "Foot Fountain," pink in parentheses, by Argentine-born artist Mika Rottenberg, was erected in April along the High Line near 30th Street. So they were not Jewish, but they were Argentine-born. Yeah, so, got me, Mika Rottenberg.
Those Argentinian sex artists,
They're pretty liberal in Argentina. I've read on Passport Bro forums that Argentinian women they're a little bit harder to woo, if you will, to win the heart, to court them. So it's good. It's a good thing to be aware of.
I did think that was a pretty good analysis of it, though. A pretty wise analysis. But I did have one question for you, Router, too. Kind of going back to what we were talking about before. Does, you kind of described how blacks will sexually conquer anywhere that they go. Does that play any role in your, trying to get queens yourself? Are you trying to kind of reconquer?
Yeah, is that like reclaim the territory that was taken from us?
Yeah, 100%.
Say us. I'm waiting.
Definitely. I mean, think about it. You got these. You have anytime here's how it works. Okay, if you have the women of any race, you have white women, Asian women, black women. A white woman can only have sex with white women. If she has sex with any other race, it means that the white race is being conquered. Conversely, if a white man has sex with any other race, it means that he is conquering that race. So when blacks have sex with our white women, it means we're being conquered. I mean, flat out, that's what it is. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. So yes, I'm trying to reconquer their women as well. It's a war. Don't you understand? It's a war. Now, that doesn't mean you should, see the idea here. This is why I'm not necessarily a white nationalist. I'm more of a white supremacist, because in my opinion, you have to spread supremacy over other countries. The white man needs to bleach the third world. The third world should not be bleaching the West. That's what should be happening. That's my thesis for life.
I wouldn't call what they're doing bleaching. Maybe.
Well,
we would be bleaching.
Oh, yeah.
They would be staining. Yes.
Yes.
Good point. They're browning us. We're bleaching.
Right. I agree with that. That's an interesting perspective. I hadn't thought of it from such like a sexual perspective before, but that is interesting.
I based my whole life on that.
Wow, people really love your stories. Look at all the buys coming in.
Are they? No.
9 minutes ago, $7.35.
I think that story was worth more than $7.35.
Oh, for sure. But I mean, I look at the chart and I see like, green little ticks. I'm like, okay.
Coming in. What would you say are the most important races for us to conquer, Router?
That's a very good question. I would say, well, I mean, obviously getting back at the blacks would be number one. So if you can breed a black queen, that would be like your most tit for tat kind of fight there, because the blacks are really fucking the white women here, and so you got to get back at them like you have to. So that, I think, is our duty to do that. Go to Africa, deposit your seed. Now, Asia, on the other hand, that's like your, it's pretty easy for white men to get over there and, do what you got to do in Asia. That's not exactly going to be hard, because Asians aren't really cucking us that badly. That's why I really don't have much of an issue with Asians. I just don't. I think they're nice people, and I think they're kind. I think the guys are kind. I think the women are very nice, and they're willing to take the white seed. So Asians, Indians, I'd say continue to bleach them. You can't let them forget that who's on the top, though. So I would say that, and then Latinas as well. You got to get the Latinas, but really, tit for tat is going to be black women. So that's your even match right there.
Do you think Asian men have any of the same resentments that you have against black men? Because
100% they do. 100%. And if they say that they don't, that's cope. It's cope. I'm sorry to say, but you could go on Reddit right now and go to the Asian masculinity Reddit, and you will see some fucking coping ass Asian men. It's not easy, okay? It's not easy. I mean, I think you can be an Asian guy, work out, reduce your body fat percentage, be a smart guy, make some money. You're gonna do okay, I think. But like, if East Asians are gonna be fine. They're good looking guys, I would say. You can be an East Asian, still be a good looking guy. You can probably even find yourself a white woman if you really wanted to try breeding with one of them. Southeast Asians, I bet they could still do it. The one that really cannot is South Asians. So Indians, Indians are gonna have the worst time out of everyone. By far. I mean, let's just be real here. Indians are going to have the hardest time. And, so my advice to Indians, I would say stop eating the curry, work out, and pray to God.
it does seem like they have the biggest hurdles to overcome.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, and use the freaking toilet.
Yeah,
that would
totally.
be, yeah.
Pee while you're sitting down, for Christ's sake.
I agree. Yeah. Pee and shit while sitting down, not in the Ganges. Jesus. I'm trying to think of some more. I'm really interested in Router's thoughts about this sort of like sexual conquering of the world. And I wondered, do you think, because I'm really interested personally in these Latinas. I think the combination of Western European DNA with native gene pools in South America resulted in some of the most beautiful women. What do you think it was about like that conquistador spirit that caused that? And do you think they were particularly driven to conquer with like via your philosophy?
Yeah, absolutely. I think actually that's the greatest period in some ways of white people was actually during the colonization period. And that's because we were doing what we were supposed to do. We were colonizing, we were depositing our seed in every country and making these people beautiful in the process over many generations. That's how this was supposed to work. That's how it was supposed to work. So yeah, you take the Spanish people who are good-looking guys, good-looking women over there, and they came here to the native population, which has some kind of like sharper features a little bit. Not always so, aesthetically pleasing. So when they come here and they breed with the natives and they create Latinos, basically, you can see which ones are more beautiful and which ones are more not so beautiful. The Latinos with the most European admixture are by far the most beautiful, Latinos and Latinas in the world. And you're gonna find those in Venezuela and Colombia. Those in my opinion are the two most beautiful. Brazil, you can find some very beautiful women in Brazil, and also Argentina, and those have a lot of white admixtures. But you go into like Peru and places which are less breeded with, like Peru, Guatemala, those two places in particular, kind of Bolivia, those places, they still have a lot of the native look to them. And that's why like you're gonna see some Latinos and Latinas that have more native features versus more European features. And almost always when you're looking at a beautiful Latina, you're most likely seeing the European features in them. So in a way, it's necessary for us to spread our seed for these other countries. I mean, it's their own good. For their own good, they need us. It is a sexual race war, Big Chud, 100%.
Who would you say is winning the sexual race war right now?
The Jews, 100%. We're losing it now. We are absolutely losing it. This country, like I said, we're a liberal country. As in, we have a rules-based system. You really can't stop it at this point. It's kind of a freight train running out of control right now. We are going to have a hard time getting this thing under control because we're just going to let too many people into white countries and they're going to conquer us. That's what's going to happen unless we do something about it. So people need to wake up.
Interesting. When you say the Jews are winning it, I don't really view them as like sexual conquerors. Maybe they're subverting, our ability to sexually conquer, or other groups' ability to sexually conquer. Could you elaborate on that a little bit more on why you view them as the winners or the leaders?
100%. That's a good point. So basically what their plan is, the Jewish people would like to reconstitute the greater Israel, if you will. So the greater Israel is not just that little sliver of space that we call Israel today. It's going to include like it's going to basically include most of the Middle East. So what the Jews are looking for us to do is to help them out with these wars going on over there. And they will have complete control over the Middle East. That's really what they're looking to do. They want control over the Middle East. Israel today has some of the highest birth rates throughout the world because Jews see it as a duty to procreate. Jews see it as a duty to create more Jews. That's just their point of view. And another point about Jews is the Jewish part comes through from the mother's side. And it's a lot easier for a woman to have sex. So a Jewish woman can really have sex with whatever Gentile she wants to have sex with, and that will produce a Jew. So they have that advantage as well. So they can easily create more Jews. What will happen is you will have a very populated Jewish superpower, which we are creating and we are funding. And at the same time, we are sending brown people to all of the white countries. Australia, America, Canada, Europe. They're all getting, brown people, low-wage workers coming into their countries and living there. In a couple generations, you're not really going to have white people anymore. But what you will have is a Jewish superpower. So in 100 years from now, you don't really have any white people anymore. They're no longer a majority. They don't really have as much power at all. But you have a Jewish superpower. So now the Jews can go to whatever country they want to go to and breed with the brown women there, kind of like we were doing at one point. So that's their plan ultimately. They're going to be having as much, passport broing as they want to do in about 100 years, and they're going to be really dominating and conquering the rest of the world.
I would because you did kind of mention how there's like this matrilineal aspect to becoming Jewish. How does that play into Jewish men like going abroad and spreading their seed?
Well, and that's a benefit. The Jewish men don't create more Jews, technically. I mean, ethnically or, physically, they may look genetically Jewish, but they won't technically be real Jews because a real Jew can only come from a woman. So the men have full freedom and power to go wherever they want and fuck whoever they want, and they can just leave them there and go back to Israel and not have to worry about raising the child because the child will not be Jewish. Whoever they fuck will not turn Jewish. It's only the women that happens with. And women, they can be more intentional with who they fuck, and they can bring them back to Israel and, have their kids born there, and then, there's another Jew. So that's kind of the idea. They really set up like the perfect system for doing that kind of stuff.
Interesting.
Zion Don is gonna love this episode.
Yeah, I wish he would wake up. I wish he would wake up and stand up for his own people, but you know, there's really not many people that would do that. I will say Keith Woods, he has, you know, responded to one of my messages on Twitter. I said, hey, he made a post and I said, hey, great job, Keith. This is a great video. And he literally responded, thanks. And I mean, that just goes to show we are getting, you know, big accounts and kind of the Groyper sphere kind of getting into it. We just got to get more people on board and they'll get in with the program.
Yeah. It would be interesting to have cheese sort of be, you know, considered for an official currency for some of these more important initiatives.
You know what I was thinking about earlier today? Actually, I forgot to send it in chat. Do you think there'd be a way to set up like an actual, like we could start an actual religion or a cult so we didn't have to pay taxes and just use cheese as the currency? Is that possible in America?
That's interesting.
Yeah, I'm sure it probably is possible, and I'm sure there have been more absurd justifications for not paying taxes.
Did you guys hear about that Rastafarian cult in America that did exactly that? And when it came down to it, they were like meeting and basically getting all the YT Waymans in there and, you know, doing the whole router stories. But at the same time, they were like selling weed and laundering money and all that stuff. Nah, I think they got in trouble for that. Do you guys remember that? It's like the Rastafarian cult or something.
I don't remember that,
I do not.
but it is part of the reason I have been getting. I keep mentioning them in Rat Hole episodes, but these LDS people, they really have it sort of figured out with, you know, kind of a, I guess I would call it objectively silly, but I guess subjectively silly religion that they've used as a foundation for this like extremely financially successful community. And they have all sorts of like tax breaks and things. So I do think that is an interesting thing to sort of look into. You know,
Cheese
sure
Jamie pulled it up for us. They're the Pastafarians with the flying spaghetti monster.
Yeah, I remember that. That's some good old internet lore.
Yeah, definitely is.
Did they actually successfully like get you know, tax leniency?
Oh, they were for sure getting tax leniency.
Man,
I'm just trying to look up the story.
I think we could do that, man. We already have commandments.
Yeah, thankfully, cheese is already a church. You know, we already have our
Church of
disciples
Cheese.
and our followers and our cheese gods.
It's definitely
really
a
just,
belief system.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, it's great to get stuff off my chest with cheese. I mean, there's really no other coin like it. Some coins actually say you should stay on topic. You should stay on topic.
Well, I think honestly, that's one of the things that I think really benefits us the most is that like so many of us kind of vibed with the whole 4chan culture, and we just like discussing a wide breadth of topics. You know, it doesn't always have to be sitting there talking about what's your favorite cheese. I really look forward to all your posts in the Telegram router, and I think we should have like a regular segment with like router rants, because I find, you know, the things you say to be interesting and entertaining. So
Yeah,
that
the
means
stories
a lot.
are amazing.
I appreciate you guys saying these kind words. I mean, you guys are a great community. I'm glad I joined Cheese. I just found out about it on 4chan.
That's where we were born.
Yes.
I do need to drop off, guys. I need to go
Yeah,
say
I
goodbye to some
think
family members.
yeah, this feels like a natural closing point for the episode. It's been an hour and 20 minutes. We usually go for like an hour and 30 or so. I genuinely don't know how we're supposed to follow up those incredible tales and thoughts from Router. So what I will say is next week we do plan on having Barney on to discuss more about the dev side of Mouse Cafe and whatnot, and as well as input from Mr. One about how it all came together, more deep dive into how it all went down. But yeah, does anybody have any closing thoughts for the show, for the audience, for all the believers out there?
I just want to thank Router for coming on and
Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you,
you,
Router. Oh my gosh. Yeah, you are amazing. I feel like greatness was born tonight.
Yeah, thank you, folks. Thank you for having me. I had a lot of fun.
Likewise. I was laughing very hard at your telling of your story. Also, I actually do find a lot of your other things pretty interesting. I'm gonna mull them over.
Yeah, think about them. It's but yeah, thank you guys. I appreciate it. It was a lot of fun.
Yep, definitely. Until next time, everybody, wherever you may be in the world, have a good day and have a good night as well. Goodbye.
Good night.
Good night.